What is happening, everybody? I hope you've had a good...
Back in like 2005, something like that.
I think my first con was so good. It's Friday Junior.
It's Friday Junior, it's podcast day, it's payday.
And when you come out doing a like, doesn't matter how you feel about the situation.
My name is Raff, and always before we start the podcast, because we just want to talk about it. We want to talk about music and just share those stories and experience. This is my co-host, Carl, aka the BeerBuddy. He is hailing you.
This sort of weird era where they're sort of right in that post-grunge.
Look, you're fighting the good fight in today's world. My war was fought 40 years ago, really.
We are the two dudes who talk music, and we are here. Hey, I'm too quick on that air horn button, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, that is amazing. I love it. Your second of it, dude. Fantastic.
How you going, you absolute legends? I am the Reverend Raff. This here is the BeerBuddy Kyle. We are the two dudes who talk music, and we're here today with another podcast episode for you. But before we dive into that, if you enjoy your time with us today, it'd mean a lot if you could consider hitting that subscribe button down there, hit the like button and all that good stuff. Makes YouTube really happy. We are a small channel. We're trying to get some growth, but we don't want to be all like clickbaity and, all those kind of silly games. We just want to build a genuine following that really enjoys what we have to offer. So yeah, if you have fun with us today, that'd mean a lot. We have also just launched a Patreon page that is, obviously doing this. We've expanded the number of videos and stuff we're doing recently, and it's not free, and it's not cheap in either money or time. So we're just literally putting that there in case you really like what we do and you feel like you want to throw us a couple of bucks a month to help out with that. If not, that's perfectly fine. We appreciate you taking the time to watch us anyway. And we have the podcast videos that come out every Thursday, as well as Get in the Bin and Quick Question Quarter on the weekends. And we have reaction videos that drop every Monday and Friday, as well as one on Wednesday if there's lots of stuff coming out. And Tuesdays is just kind of a free day. Like a lot of the time there won't be a video, but if there is any extra stuff, Tuesdays is usually where you're going to find it. So mate, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm so pumped for this run of interviews that we're embarking on.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Metal to the Max.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see some new bands. I can't wait to catch up with some old friends that are playing on the show. It's, I think all the time and attention now is going into basically trying to balance family and this at the moment. I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah.
How are you going?
Look, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Like you said, just excited for Metal to the Max coming up. Now that we've got confirmation that we're going to be attending, we've got confirmation that we're going to be there covering the event, which is going to be awesome. Hopefully going to have a little space set up. So we'll be filming most of the day. We'll be recording all day. We're going to have lots of interviews and with both bands and with the organisers and with punters and everything all throughout the day. So that's going to be really, really cool. We're looking forward to that. And as you mentioned there, we're kind of doing this special run of episodes over the next few months leading up to the event in October. For those who are not aware, Metal to the Max is a music festival taking place at the Mad Max 2 compound out near Broken Hill. Yes, you heard that right. The Mad Max 2 compound way out in the arse end of New South Wales, featuring 30 of Australia's best heavy bands. That's 2 days. Camping starts on the Friday night. The bands are on the Saturday and Sunday, 15 bands each day. And look, being the post-apocalyptic location like that, it's the perfect spot for a metal festival in my mind. I think it's going to be an amazing time. We're going to have links to all that stuff in the description. You can get your tickets now that still include a camping site, but I believe the allocation that includes a shuttle from Broken Hill Airport is already exhausted. So if you want to, the tickets are moving. The tickets are moving. So you want to make sure that you get what you can while you can there. I feel like Silverton and Broken Hill are going to have a hell of a time with so many people descending on the city. But
it is. It's going to look like a Mad Max movie.
I think it will. I really think it will. But yeah, we're going to be having all the cool links down in the description there for that one. But we are, as I said, continuing this series of special episodes with a band from Adelaide today. Now, this is a 3-piece band. We have 2 of these lovely gentlemen with us today. We are going to be interviewing Denazen. They describe themselves as a progressive death metal band. From what we've heard of their stuff, we really dig it, and that's a very accurate description. So we're going to dive into this one now, and we hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you very, very much for joining us today, gentlemen. So for those of you playing along at home, we have Matt and Jack from Denazen today. Matt is the drummer and Jack is guitar and vocals. For those who don't know, what's the elevator pitch for Denazen?
What do you say? Bring back the 90s death metal scene back, bit of the thrash metal. That's my influence, at least. You know, I love that, and through my riffs and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say Jack's very into the 90s death metal and stuff. I mean, not that I'm not, I love it, but all three of us, the bass player as well, we all have different influences, so we kind of meld sort of 30 years of metal history into like some beast.
Well, it shows. It absolutely shows. Like, I mean, we were having to listen to the stuff you had up on SoundCloud and that new track, that demo you sent through to us, which thank you, by the way. Like, we're having a lot of fun finding all these new bands that are on Metal to the Max that we've not experienced before, which is one of the reasons we do this. It's one of the reasons we get involved with this, because we like finding new, interesting bands. And yeah, like, it's amazing because I was listening through, like I said, on SoundCloud, and you guys had, like, you got some stuff that's just like straight up death metal, like that old school, like, death kind of thrash stuff. And then you've got other ones that's almost like, that's obviously more on the prog side of things. And then you're mixing in almost like a stoner element in some of the tracks as well. I'm picking up. And I mean, Matt, if I can say, like, I'm a bass player, so rhythm is a big thing for me. Your drumming that you're weaving under a lot of this stuff, like, even though the riffs and the vocals might be very like death and thrash kind of focused, the drumming you're doing underneath that is weaving in some really, really cool stuff. So like, I'm getting a lot of enjoyment listening to what you guys are doing. And it's just really, really cool. And I just hope that more people should go out and fucking listen to what Denazen's doing, because
and then buy tickets to Metal to the Max.
And then buy tickets to Metal to the Max, and let's make Broken Hill and Silverton our bitch. Yeah.
Well, let's make it our Mecca. Let's not make it our bitch. Let's make it our Mecca. Let's make it the Mecca, heavy metal Mecca. Let's turn it into our own fucking Burning Man.
Yeah, it needs to be. Yes, this needs to become like Australia's Wacken, is what this needs to become.
Yeah, man. And it has that potential.
It does. It definitely does. Like, so when did you guys first hear about like Metal to the Max? How did you guys come to be involved with that? Just what's the story on that one?
So basically, our second gig we played with Firestorm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's the drummer Ash from Firestorm is like the head honcho at Lead Heavy Promotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, at least what I think, from the inception of it, we were invited based on that. So that's how we found about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. That is. And because this is the thing, like, is this the first year that it's running, to your knowledge?
Yeah.
Like, so is this like the first? So I'm excited. So this is what I mean. We got to try and make this big.
We're on the ground floor. I thought this happened last year for some reason.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think from what I've heard,
I'm not sure, to be completely honest. This is like the
but
wow.
So this is cool. Like, it's a cool idea, and I'm really, really keen for it because, we, as I mentioned, like, I'm a big fan of like thematics and theatrics in music. I think that the environment and the atmosphere and the presentation can do so much to improve a gig. Like, it's ultimately it's about the music, but if you were to take a heavy metal show and put it on in like a ballet studio, it's not necessarily going to have the same energy, right? You take it and you put it somewhere that, because like heavy metal has not shied away from post-apocalyptic themes and concepts throughout the whole history of the genre.
For
right?
sure.
So it only makes sense to like metal and rock music is constantly utilized throughout like post-apocalyptic movies and the whole thing. So there's just connections all throughout the history of metal with that style of presentation. So I think it's just the perfect fit. you
And
know,
not just that, it puts it on the map too, because it's it's at such an iconic venue. That movie is worldwide. Like, the potential for this to go so much bigger and turn into like maybe a 3-day festival. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just the possibilities for this are just endless.
Yeah.
Like, I can absolutely see this being the kind of event that people, you know, if not for this first one, but maybe for future ones, will travel to Australia from overseas to attend. Like, I'm not kidding when I say something like this could become like outback and to some extent. Like, this can be the kind of thing that people will travel from overseas to come and attend because it just sounds like such a fucking cool thing. And that to me is so special. You know, that we could have our own event like that. I know there's obviously Blackened Festival that's up in Northern Territory, that's out in a very, very remote part of Northern Territory up there, which again, I think it's a very, very cool idea. I'd love to attend that sometime if that's still going on. I don't know if that's continued in more recent years, but like, you know, the idea of just going somewhere very, very remote it becomes, the travel makes it almost more special.
Yeah, definitely. Traveling to the wasteland.
Well, this is experience I had with Gymna. I mean, coming from Sydney and going up there for it. Like, when I took Timmy and that up the first year, I got to catch up with some old bandmates. It wasn't just a 2-day experience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It turns into like a 3 or 4 day or a week, and you know, it's like you make mad friends at it, and it might be friends that you never see again. But you know, if you go to that thing every year, that's your family at that event.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're guaranteed, are you coming back next year? Yeah, I'm coming back next year. And that in itself, it's a vibe. You create that community around the festival. It was like Big Day Out. You had Big Day Out friends in Sydney.
Yes, definitely.
Always people you were guaranteed to bump into people at festivals or concerts.
Yep.
And those are the weirdest friends to make.
So give us a bit of, obviously we had kind of the elevator pitch there, but like, how did Denazen come together? How did you guys get started? How did you guys meet one another? How long have you guys been doing what you're doing?
Well,
Alright.
yeah, it's a long time.
It's a long time coming.
Really? You guys look 12.
We went to kindy together and
I got
primary
no facial
school and
hair.
high school. We're 22.
Oh, okay. Okay, babe. Man, I'll tell you what, mad what you're doing. Absolute chops on yous. Absolute chops on yous.
Cheers.
It. But yeah, no, well, Jack and I went to primary school together, so we
that's bad.
We befriended each other in sort of probably year like 1 or 2 or something. I mean, we went to kindy together as well, but we didn't really know each other because obviously small area, everyone knows each other. But Jack started taking guitar lessons in like, I want to say year 2 maybe.
4.
Or year 4. Oh yeah, year 4. Sorry, year 4. And then a year later, I was like, oh, well, I need to learn something. So I started playing drums, and then we sort of we've literally been playing together ever since. You know, sort of different bands, different stuff. We started off more like punky. And,
that's when we were 12.
Yeah, when we were about 12, 13. And then
Blues, Sabbath, Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I'll definitely hear the Sabbath influences in there, eh?
I was going to say,
we were literally talking about it just before you jumped on.
Yeah. So some of the Sabbath influences definitely are like, they're buried in there in some songs, but I can definitely pick them up. Like, and I love that too. I love that so much. That's
mad. You see, and this is the thing, you know, like we talk about it so much on podcasts, you know, all the those gatekeeper old heads out there are so worried about how the current music scene's going, you know. Is it in good hands? It's in perfectly good fucking hands. You just need to pay more attention, you old farts.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I'm one of them. That's why we do, like, you know, that's why we do what we do here. So we don't turn into those grumpy old farts that go, yeah, the music's crap now.
Like, it does get me a little bit annoyed though when I'm like, I'll be at a gig or we're doing a podcast episode like this, and I'll be like, you know, you said you're 22, like, like I think I've been playing music in some form since before you fuckers were born. And it makes me feel so old. It makes me feel so goddamn old when I say that. But it's, it also makes me happy because like Kyle said, like the fact that we are out there, like we're out there doing the podcast, going to gigs, interviewing bands, talking to bands, and we see the talent that's coming up in Australia at the moment. We see the bands that are out there trying to do something special while also having the nods to the old school shit. And, it makes us really happy because we're like, not that it's up to us to be like, yes, okay, it's going to be good. But you get what I mean? Like we're kind of like, we're like, is metal, because we went through some shit times, like the Sydney scene went through a really fucking bad run in the 2010s where things kind of got, not so great. And it just kind of makes you not fear for it, but you're kind of like, is there any decent bands coming up? And like, are people just going to fucking not bother getting involved with it because there's so much bullshit that comes with it? And then to especially have that and then go through something like the COVID pandemic and come out the other side of that with just this explosion of young talent that's coming up and really getting out there now is like, fuck, man. It just puts a smile on my face every time.
Poor motherfuckers were ripped off. You guys hit 18 and everything shut down.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That was a bit lame. Fucking sucked.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Because old mate shed. You go to the shed. You don't go out. You go to the shed.
Yeah, that would have been a rough go.
Because you just would have been like, fucking next year we're at the pubs, we're playing gigs, we can get down to the fucking, we can start looking at getting into the cities and, really starting to throw our shit around and stuff like that. And then bang, pull the plug.
The universe said, nope.
Yeah, not today.
Well, I would say honestly that maybe worked. Like, yeah, it sucked not being able to like go out and enjoy it, but it kind of worked in our benefit in a sense because if we weren't maybe ready to go out and start gigging yet, it gave us heaps of time to just rehearse. And
well, we did. We rehearsed. We didn't have the inception of Denazen 2 years ago. We didn't go out and play a gig for like a year and a half. We just wrote music and perfected until we had a solid product and went out.
You know what, though? I think more bands need to do that.
Yep.
Like, I think a lot of bands, when they first get together, they want to, because look, playing gigs is the fun part, right? Like that's the fun part. That's the like the party at the end of all the work, But I think so many bands will rush to the playing gigs part, without properly putting the work in to go, okay, like what's our sound? What are we about? What are we going to do? Thinking through a lot of the stuff that, if that can help you just come out screaming out of the gate with a full package presented, ready to go, rather than, we'll just get out there and play the songs and then figure it out the rest as we go. Like,
it's almost like that Family Guy episode. Remember when they all walk out and they start a band and they're all dressed mad, they're ready to go, and then they get up there and it's just like, oh my God, we don't know any songs.
Yeah. Like it's just, it's crazy to me. Like I think it's just something that bands need to maybe put a bit more stock into. And like, obviously it was for you guys, it was forced because of the, kind of the situation that was put upon the world. But at the same time, I think it's something that a lot of musicians don't learn voluntarily until they're a bit older, until they've been through it a couple of times. And they're like, oh shit, maybe we should work on that stuff a little more. Maybe instead of just going, cool, we got 8 songs, let's go. They should go, right, let's write 15 songs and pick the best 8 or 9 and then make those our set. And then we'll work on the other ones.
There's so much fun in writing. We enjoy it.
That's a good thing, man. And so to what Raff said, like a lot of bands, they do it. You rush to just write that 30-minute set.
Yeah.
You start your band and you're like, okay, we've got to write a 30-minute set. And it's like, that's not the way to do things.
Yeah, no.
And we don't
work on all that.
And we don't mean that in the way of like, we don't mean that in the way of like, oh no, not the way to do things. It's like literally like you need more than 30 minutes material. Like if you've only got 30 minutes and then you do really well on that 30 minutes and then someone comes along and says, hey, I want to put you on this other show and it's like a 45-minute set. You're like, ooh, yeah,
slow it down a bit, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys have got some pretty lengthy songs anyway, so it kind of works out.
10 minutes.
Well, how do you find that? Because like I'll take the piss out of sort of my homies from T-Rex Autopsy and Firefly. It's like they get 30-minute sets. So I'm like, what, 3 songs tonight, guys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you find balancing that in a set and keeping people's energies up?
Oh, I guess like different song, different placements. Because we only play original, only our stuff. So I guess it's about like trying to match where it perhaps works. Like I believe because the new one that you guys heard the demo of, so that's going to be at the end.
Okay.
So you can't do that and then have another song. It seems you end with a bang, so to speak. But build up to it as well.
Yeah, well, but I think what I've found about your guys' stuff is, despite the songs being on the longer side, they don't ever feel boring. They never feel like they're lagging. They never feel like they're long for the sake of being long. They don't feel like there's parts that are in there just to kill time. Little spoiler alert for those of you that catch our reaction videos on the channel. We've got a reaction video coming up to the latest Mushroom Head song, and that goes for like 5 minutes, and half that song could be cut out with nothing really lost.
They could have ended in the first 30 seconds, but
like it's
could have been like my sex life.
Spoiler alert! It's trash. But it's that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about listening to the stuff that you guys are putting out. Is there? It's like, despite the songs being on the longer side, like I never felt my mind going kind of like thinking about other stuff, getting distracted, whatever. Like, it was an enjoyable experience the whole way through, and it kept me engaged. Now that could be because, Kyle and I talk about this a lot, that we're listening from a musician's perspective as well. Yeah. Because we are musicians. We've done music and bands ourselves before. So like that, we are very, very firm believers that musicians engage with music on a totally different level to the layperson. And that's not to be like, oh, we're better than anyone else or anything. It's literally just like, if you're a film critic, you engage with films at a different level. If you make movies and you know how the stuff gets made, you can see the wires, you can understand a lot of this stuff on a different level. If you're a writer, you engage with literature in a different way. It's just a fact of being familiar with the process.
It's, the reasons. The theory behind why they've at least gone in that direction. It's not like, oh, that was mad. It was like, well, it's mad because.
Yeah.
You can actually give like my wife does it to me now. She's like, I'm really digging with these songs. And I'm like, well, here's the reason why. It's like, these are the songs that you like. They've written in this sort of way. Like, this is what resonates with you, there's a formula to everything, it's like, almost like baking bread. You know what I mean? You don't obviously need to be a baker to know what good bread is, but if you're a baker, you're going to know how that good bread was made.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I guess one thing for me, like when it comes to writing music, like I'm, a bit more limited than some people. Like I tend to work best collaboratively with other people. Like I'll come in with a half a song, or they'll come in with a half a song, and together we'll expand it and build it into something. Do you guys have like sort of one primary songwriter? Like for example, Jack, do you kind of like come in with, things mostly mapped out and then the other guys just throw their flavor on it? Or is it really like, I've got these couple of riffs and then it just blossoms and expands from there?
Look, I mean, I might come in with riffs, right? I might come up with a riff at home. There's even been times where I come in with a riff that I think is not so good, but I'll present it anyway. Or even Matt comes up with riffs sometimes, plays a bit of guitar.
Nice, good on you, man.
Then we work together, him on the kit, and then we just expand, maybe change the timing there, do this, do that. sort of just comes from an idea, but probably works best collaboratively.
Yeah, I think because a lot of bands, like modern ones, at least from my understanding, is they do sort of, it can be separate, and especially because of like when COVID happened, everyone was like kind of away, they couldn't get together. So, but for us, it's kind of more old school in a sense. Like we jam and stuff, like, and sometimes riffs will come out of that. It's like, it's a really like broad process because like, like Jack said, he'll have a riff, I'll have a riff, we'll jam and make something on the spot. Like it kind of depends. Like,
I miss those days. Where you just have writing days, you just book the studio or you just go over to someone's house and you're not doing anything. You're just finding the guitar or you're just mucking around with stuff and hey, that sounded good. Let's build on that and just get the juices flowing. Everything's just going in a moment.
Yeah,
rather than being so, okay, you've sent me this riff, I have to write something for it.
Yeah. Like I can remember with early Tensions Arise stuff, like this is back 2008 when the band was first kind of forming. I would, I'd go over to Kazzy's place on a weekend, especially if it was like Easter long weekend or whatever. So it was like the 4 days, and we'd all go over to like Kazzy's place, for example. We'd have like a few cases of UDLs, and we just spend the weekend like drinking low quality piss and writing and being hungover as fuck, and then writing and just drinking more and it was, those are like amazing times. It's really, really fun to approach writing in that kind of group collaborative way. And you aren't slowing down or anything. Obviously, you guys shot us that demo for the new one you've been working on as well, but you've got another one that's in the works too that you're preparing to release.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I was going to say, we've been, recording for months now, trying to perfect things.
Fucking too long.
Way too long. Man. This shit was meant to be released like what seemed months ago. But we're coming to the final stages of things. Going to send it off to get properly mixed because we're rubbish at that. But then finally, have something on Spotify. Something polished. All the SoundCloud stuff is early demos now from.
And that's all mixed by us, and we haven't got really a fucking clue how to do it.
Look, from someone that's done some like mixing and stuff, I can let me tell you, like the stuff that's on SoundCloud,
it's pretty fucking.
I've heard way worse commercial releases. Cough, black metal, cough. But
I'll tell you what. My first EP we paid for, and it sounds a lot fucking worse than that does. So you're doing a very fucking good job.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah. So, okay. So when, obviously, I'm not looking for a specific date here, but is there an approximate timeline you think of when people are going to be able to catch this stuff on Spotify?
Well, let's see. So it's July. I'd say give it probably 2 months.
Also, we'll have it just in time for.
Give us a deadline. Get our shit in order. Have
it out by Metal to the Max. Have it out by Metal to the Max. That's
by Metal to the Max for sure.
Because that's going to be the thing. Like I think that's gonna really work for you guys because it'll mean, hey, all of these people at Metal to the Max, they're going to be able to see you guys, and you can go, hey, we just dropped all of these cool songs on Spotify. Go and check it out, and then people can go and check you guys out straight away. They can do that immediately.
And then maybe someone could do something special and make some videos for you on Metal to the Max for the release for it.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe if we can get a bunch of angles on the footage and cut something together.
Both the songs will be played, definitely.
Yeah, mad.
Amazing. So do you guys, when it comes to the live performance, do you guys utilize like click tracks or anything like that, or you just go with the groove and be in the moment like that?
It's all him.
Like it depends how nervous I am if it's going to be tight or not. But because I do suffer a little bit from stage fright, more so than like the first couple shows. But so we don't really use click tracks or anything. We just sort of, I try my best to keep it tight.
Keep it tight, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my mouth shut because anyone from Sydney that watches this podcast that goes to Rammer Down is going to give me so much shit.
Oh look,
I'm staunch for click tracks. As far as I'm concerned, drummers. The drummer has no one to listen to. Poor drummers. Everyone else in the band has someone to follow except for the poor drummer, and the drummer's going to do all that fucking work. The least he can have is a little click that goes bloop, bloop,
not
To make his
intending
life
to,
easier.
like, and look, you know, we're much like Kyle. I'm a very, very strong advocate of utilization for click tracks, but I don't want to, you know, like, obviously, I promise I'm not trying to be patronizing when I say this, but you guys are young. You know, you got a long way to go with a lot of stuff. So it's just that's something that you guys can perhaps build towards if you're wanting to. It's the kind of thing that, you know, if look, the one piece of advice that I think I would give any band is learn to play your shit to click tracks and do that live as soon as you can, because it makes it so much tighter, and you know, learning to play with feel to a click track is one of the most important things as a musician that you can do. And so that's like, you know, it's like we never shut up about it, but but it's
we should get t-shirts, Matt. We should get t-shirts.
That should be our slogan.
Click tracks rule. Click tracks fucking rule.
Two Dudes Talk Music logo on the front, and on the back, play to a click track, you fucking coward. Man.
We're gonna get.
I was going to say, at least in terms of our stuff, like, because like you say, yeah, click tracks are very important, and especially as a drummer, if you can't play to a click, that's like, you know, you got a lot of practice to do. But
yes, we
sort of, because our songs are really like, we call them bits, but we just add like lots of sections and stuff. So in terms of click tracks, it's more of a laziness thing. Like, we're just like, oh, can we be bothered programming different times and all that stuff? But
I get it.
Yeah, but like you say, we're definitely not at that experience level yet to be able to.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we're only advocating for the drummers.
I think everyone. From my perspective, if you can have everyone looped in on the click, it's even better. But at the bare minimum, if you can have the drummer so that they're able to do it, even that makes a huge difference. You know, because then you've got that. Then you've got like a god. Basically, you can be like, right, the click track is God, and the drummer is playing to the click track. So if anything goes off, just go back to what the drummer's doing and stick with the drummer. You know, there's like that band. It almost creates a band leader for everyone to follow the one thing.
I think we already do that though. Like seriously, it's just Matt's time, because Matt's timing, no click track albeit, is pretty flawless most of the time. Like.
That's how you know you're good. You're humble. You're a humble drummer, man.
I want to ask, what's up with the scrubs?
Yeah, okay. And you haven't seen, we've got another post where we're wearing like monk robes, like Benedictine monk robes. So there was a couple shows, the most recent ones we've done before recording, they were themed, so to speak. We're doing it with like some like grunge bands and stuff. You know, but, you know, we thought we would play along with the themes. I'm very keen to get back into a singlet and jeans.
Okay.
You know.
Go Matt Heafy on that shit, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's okay, because I was gonna say, like, look, it's nothing wrong with it. It wasn't a dig. It was like just trying to understand, because it's you know, I think that it's, you know, having a way to distinguish yourselves as a band and stand out other than just playing good music. You know, again, something else that we never shut up about on the podcast, you know, is if I want good music, there's 1,000 bands, you know, bands I can listen to. There's 100 gigs I can go to see good music. The state of Aussie talent is insane right now. And I could fucking just have a list. I could have a list of 100 gigs anywhere across the country, throw a dart at it, and any gig that I attend will have good bands playing good music, and probably a couple of really great ones, right?
Yep.
Probably a good chance of finding a new band that I'll like shout from the rooftops about. Distinguishing yourselves in this day and age requires more than just good music. Which it didn't used to. There was times when there was a lot of trash out there, and you know, good music was enough. But in the current state of everything, like, if you want people to remember you, you need a hook other than good music.
Yeah.
You know? Or if you're not gonna have that, you need to be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you need to be 11 out of 10 if you're not going to have some other hook, because just being good music, just giving like an 8.5 out of 9 show, I can see 100 of those on any given weekend.
Well, you only have to look at about the current metal state. It's like from our sort of generation, you look at Seven Dust and say Slipknot. Man, Seven Dust, supreme band, supreme. Don't do enough theatrics to sell out something like a stadium. You go to Slipknot for the fucking show.
Well, that's it. But Slipknot was they got talked about a lot because of that element, right? They were memorable. They stuck in people's minds because of that, in a way that and look, and look, Seven Dust are an amazing band, right? Like straight up,
I love them. One of my favorites.
The proof in the pudding with Seven Dust is that you can take any of their songs and they can be performed acoustically and they're still bangers, which for me is like, as far as songwriting goes, if you're going to write, is it a good song? If you can bust it out on an acoustic and it still is a really, really good song, I think that's a great measure. It's not the only measure, but in terms of, it's a really great sort of marker to use for that type of music, But like I say, like having and I know a lot of people that say, well, I don't want to be gimmicky. I don't want to be gimmicky. I don't want people to remember the gimmick. I want them to remember us. It's like, but
the gimmick's the brand. You fucking idiot.
It's not gimmicky. It's branding.
Because like you say, it's like it could be seen as having a gimmick or something, but if you don't have an identity, no one's gonna like.
That's it.
With you. And that's what we're slowly learning, because like when we started, we were like, we'll let the music speak for itself, and we still do in a sense, but the more we play, we're like, it works to a point, but it's, if we want to keep pushing like the idea of maybe commercial success, we've got to find an identity. And like you said, it doesn't have to be like putting on masks like Slipknot or Scrub, but just something that's leading
to the fact that you're a bunch of good looking fucking chooks. And that you play some banging fucking music, mate. Yeah, get that blue steel shit going on, man. Get you know what I mean? No, look, man, lean into it.
Hey, some bands embrace a silliness. Some bands embrace being very like embrace a lot of memes and jokes and stuff to get themselves over. It's about, like you say, I think identity is the best way to describe it, rather than a gimmick or a brand even. It's that identity, and, having for every, and if you decide to not do that stuff, that's still a decision. You're deciding that your identity is that you're not doing that. But it's even things from like, okay, you don't have to have a uniform that you wear, or you don't have to have a thing, but having like, all right, like this is the kind of stuff we're going to wear on stage, having, I find that having a degree of consistency amongst what you guys wear when you perform, not so that it's like perfectly matching, right? But just so that it's a look, and people can look at you guys and go, yep, those guys are a band. Like those guys are a group doing that do a thing together.
That's a skater new metal band that wears all the big ass globe shoes and the shorts that sit below their knees, and that's all we were. Like that's all we used to get in, man. Like I still do, and it's coming back.
Jorts for life. I will never stop wearing jorts. Never. Do you hear me?
Yeah, to join in.
But so like it's just a cool thing. Like again, it's identity is I think you've really hit the word there that I've been unable to grasp in previous discussions of it. I think so. That's
actually the first time it's really been said. No one's ever really articulated it like that, and that's really good.
That's it. That's definitely the word I've been looking for.
We've had that band Maruthian on before, and man, those guys like any band, and this is no offense to any other mass band, Maruthian have left all in the dust with what they do. They fucking they went. So they went. Oh, you wear masks? Hold my beer.
Yeah. So for you guys, if you haven't seen them, basically they've essentially built like this. They're this fucking like backwoods bushland cult type band, right? And they wear fucking robes and these intricate outfits that look like they're made from like trash and scraps, and you know, and their whole thing is that their fan base is like the cult of Maruthan, and they are like there's like the
Facebook page.
Yeah, there's like the high priest and the priestess and the different like things of the cult of Maruthan, and just
there's some lore to it.
It's they're built it, and they're like they'd be an amazing band to play on something like Metal to the Max, I think, because they could really mesh into it.
Actually, yeah.
They could even do an invasion thing where it's like they're invading the camp, like they're invading the post-apocalyptic thing. Like, you know, they've come from the other fucking encampment and they're trying to like, you know,
save us all from the apocalypse or warn us or some shit.
Yeah, like they would be a perfect addition for next year if it happens. If the guys from Lead Heavy, if you're watching, Maruthan should absolutely be on next year. So should Nuclear Vision.
And Firefly.
Let's talk.
I have to say
and Firefly as well. Yeah. That's next year. We just need to get all the fucking like bands that do masks and face paint and very heavily themed shit. I think that'd be the perfect way to go next year for sure.
Because that way the marketing on that would just be through the roof.
You could make
it Mad Max.
All of the Wasteland gangs coming together for a like peaceful celebration or some shit like that.
Peace Council.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what? There's a couple of songs coming up. Obviously, Metal to the Max coming up there in October. What do you guys have anything sort of that you can talk about in the pipeline for, you know, beyond Metal to the Max and maybe going into 2025? Do you have kind of like any loose plans on what you might like to do as we move forward into next year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got
the album.
Yeah, so an album that's obviously after the singles are released.
Yeah, we got lots of music, man, banked away. We performed, but we need to release it.
Yeah, we got.
You'd rather have too much than not enough.
Yeah, we got way too much, but
no such thing, man.
Song we've written. So we keep writing shit. So we're just gonna keep writing, record the album, then a couple more singles or something. Try and do that. Just try and do as much live stuff, especially like we played at Churches of Steel in Adelaide in February this year.
Nice.
Which was actually a huge honor. We opened the festival, which is really fun, really good. Met a bunch of bands, bunch of people. Like we're quite new to the scene still.
Yep.
Like
so you guys are in the peak of fun. You're networking, you get to know everyone. You're seeing all the out of towners. You're like, we want to get you on a show. Come down to see you, like wherever. We'll get you on a show. That's good, man. This is all the fun part.
Yeah. We saw, was it a Sydney band, Killraiser?
Killraiser, yes.
Fucking insane. I was holding the bar fucking. Yeah.
We saw them. I was literally just like, this is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Killraiser's been around. Killraiser's been around for a minute, and they do not disappoint. I'm sure I played with them like back when I was still living in Sydney at something. Probably.
Are you really looking forward to that? Sort of getting to meet all the sort of out of town bands and really getting to know, like get that networking. And I hate saying it, but it is. Like I hate that word. The word is like it's a very
dirty.
It's cringe. It's fucking the most cringe word.
It's business. Business.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to businessing? That's what we'll call it, businessing.
Very looking forward to businessing, but also as you know, like we are not known yet. We are in the early stages. We're also very keen to get our music and our performance and like see other eyes on this and outside perspectives, outside views, and just like for people to actually see us instead of just hear about Denazen, new band from Adelaide. We have to show what we're about.
Well, hopefully people that are watching the podcast or listening to the podcast or, go to the SoundCloud. We're going to have a link to the SoundCloud for people that want to go and check out what you guys have got up there. Just remember they are demos.
Now.
Dude, they're great demos. I mean, and look, and this should literally be a setup to what you're going to see. This is 4 years worth of work that's been going on. You guys have really been hammering out. Like I can't wait to see what you guys bring to the table in the scene.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Like it's just been really, like the excitement for this festival is only going to build over the next few months as it draws closer and closer. And I mean, I think for Kyle and I, like our plan is essentially, because Kyle's down in Sydney still, I'm up in Brisbane. So I think basically our plan is that like I'm flying down and then we're going to, head off from Sydney at like 2 a.m. to get over the mountains without any of the daytime traffic and then just fang it down the fucking highway towards Broken Hill. Safely, yes, without ever going over the speed limit officer. Seatbelts on, but this is the I know it seems kind of silly, but like, this being at the Mad Max 2 compound, Mad Max 2 is literally about the guys like driving for endless hours and days through through the back end of Australia, and that's literally what all of us fucking bands are going to be doing, and all of us people that are attending are going to be doing.
Oh yeah,
to get to this place for this event. And the other thing that I'm excited for is like, whenever you have an event like this, no one wants to drive that far to have a shit time.
Exactly.
No one wants to drive that far to be a dickhead to people.
No.
Right? So people that are attending, they're going to want to have a good time. They're going to want to be in a good mood.
Definitely.
Which is like, that's that's one of the reasons that these events become so special, because everyone's trying to have a good time. And because everyone's trying to have a good time, they realize, we will have all come a long way for it. No one's going to want their time spoiled. No one's going to want to spoil anyone else's time. If someone has lost something or something breaks, everyone's going to be like, well, cool. Like, you can't just zip down the fucking road and get another one. So we all got to pull together and work to make it happen.
Dude, that was the best thing about Gymna. Like, on day one, everyone gets there and you can see that, like, you can see all the really young ones that don't know how to set up a tent or stuff like that, and everyone gets in and pitches in and helps. And man, it pissed down on the first night, and the camp was basically wiped out. Everyone banded together, pulled that shit all back together. Everyone's tents were back up, fires were going, everything was dry by midday. The sun was coming out by the first. Even though the rain trashed the campsite, the mood was better the next day. After everyone getting involved and everyone helping each other, and come on, let's just everyone get and help. It just created a mad vibe because no one was left on their own to deal with anything. Everyone was there for the same reason.
Yeah,
it was like you could almost shut off the world and left that thing as a commune.
Yeah.
So and that's So I like. I'm stoked to be going to something this special. And Look, hopefully there's more of them. I really, really hope there is. Like, I really hope that there's more of them. I really hope this is something that continues year on year on year and becomes something very special and gets bigger, because it can be, like Broken Hill is a tourist town anyway.
That's what pissed me off. It's like, like when you think about it, Broken Hill, like it is so much has been spoken about through Australian culture, like whether it be Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, like obviously the Mad Max stuff, and there was something else I completely forgot. But regardless of that, it's such a good idea. I can't believe no one thought about it beforehand.
It's really cool.
It's such a good idea,
just
man.
Having like metal in the sticks and Mad Max, like everything is perfect. It's all perfect.
Yeah, like metal. Like there used to be an event for a few years down near Canberra called Hell Ranch, right? Basically, the guy owned a bit of property out there, and he was like in it was organized by a band that he was a part of, but it was essentially his property, and the rehearsal space that they had on that property, you could take the wall off it. You could take one of the walls off, so they essentially took the wall off and turned it into a stage.
Oh, that's so cool.
They did that, and then then you could they went, all right, we got this whole area designated for camping. They got like family in, and they ran like spits to roast up a couple of pigs, and they did massive catering. There was fires set all around the place, and it was because it was on private property. It was essentially like it was a private party more than it was a gig, essentially. So it was BYO booze, and if you wanted other substances, but don't be a dickhead, basically, was the rule, right? Don't be, and it was.
Hey, there's a lot of holes in those fucking back places on a private property, man. You don't want to be a fucking dickhead.
But the thing is, because it was private property, they basically had ultimate, we're not going to tolerate you being a dickhead. If you come out here and you overdo it and you're a dickhead, we're going to kick you off the property, right? But that was like 20 minutes out of Canberra.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun because it was, you're out in the bush, sort of. You're out on like a rural kind of area. You can make as much noise as you want to. You can just have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
And that is always a special feeling.
Yeah, when adult get to adult. What's great to see is that allocations have been exhausted for one of the sections of tickets already.
I did see that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Really?
The shuttle bus from the
shuttle bus
airport.
one from the airport.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. That's great. That is fucking great to see.
The hype is very, very real.
So good to see.
We had Pit Vipers on the other week, and they were saying apparently they're from Broken Hill, right? And they were saying that there's a bit of hype. There's a bit of hype sort of in, it's something that the town's a bit excited for, and that there's tickets to the event are kind of moving, which is great. I love to see that. And hopefully it's a really good sign. Because that's fingers crossed. I would love it if this event sold out. If this event became a sellout, that would just really set the stage. And being where it is, every band is going to have their cameras out.
Hey, and if you don't, dude, that is you will have content for fucking weeks.
Yeah,
you will have content for fucking weeks.
You film yourself traveling there. You film yourself setting up your fucking campsite or whatever. You film yourselves arriving at the fucking place. You film yourselves, exploring the place, finding all of the cool stuff. You film yourselves performing. You film, as much as we don't like the fact that it's a content game now on social media for everything.
Hey, get with it or get out.
It's the game you have to play, and this is a perfect opportunity. You could probably get.
You owe it to the organisers as well to promote it as much as you can on the back end after the show.
Yes, yeah. Because then if you've got a great chance of coming back the next year if you do really well like that, and and then you've got all this stuff that you can use to promote the next year's one when it comes around.
Yeah.
But theoretically, you could get probably maybe 50 videos. 50 little videos out of something like this, really. You do the travel videos, you do your packing videos, you set up, you pack down. You've got 2 days worth of going around talking to different people.
Shenanigans.
Like I said, we're going to be there. We're going to be running around. We're going to have ourselves set up a little marquee to interview bands and talk to people. We're going to be wandering around the site, checking out everyone's campsites, talking to the punters, talking to the bands, feeling the thing out. I can almost envision, I don't know about this first year, but I can see in future years, perhaps if it goes really, really well, you could even start doing something you could lean into the the post-apocalyptic vibe of it even more and be hey, we're going to have on the Friday night being the first night there, we're just camping and you don't have any bands going. You could do, all right, the Friday night, we're going to have a costume or a cosplay competition where like you bring your best post-apocalyptic wasteland cosplay and we'll do like a whole fucking thing out of that, right?
I think they're advertising a bit of Mad Max cosplay going on.
Are they? I haven't. Okay, even better. There you go.
I did see that.
We're gonna have to get some more information because like, dude, it's like I'm even thinking now if we can actually get set up on the first night, maybe we should do a live stream from night one. Because I'll tell you what, look, and I'll be honest, there are a lot of people that are going to be skeptical on this. There are going to be a shitload of metalheads that are going to be like, I'm an Aaron and shit. Completely fair. And that is a fair, I'm not putting shit on anyone. That is fair. It is up to the bands and it is up to people like me and Raff and stuff like that and any other content creators that roll down there to really do a good job in trying to promote it. Because nothing ever starts fucking big. It always starts like everything starts grassroots. And yeah, like the more every band picks up their game on really trying to fucking just get those little, just out of curiosity, who's the internet provider out there?
I don't know.
Oh, you guys don't know who do you use your phone?
No. They're from, these guys are from Adelaide, dude. They're not from.
That's right.
I should have asked Pit Viper.
I'm there.
Oh, that's right. We should have asked Sam. Wrong guys. My bad.
Wrong guys. But so, okay then, look, there's a lot of bands on this fucking lineup, right? Like I think that the current total with the final poster being put out there is something like 30 bands across 2 days, which is insane. Like
15 bands a day.
15 bands a day is going to be a lot.
And what?
I mean,
$127 for a fucking 2-day pass.
Yeah.
Not bad at all, eh? 15 bands a day.
If we do the maths on that,
and that's a camping site, so you get camping included on that.
Yeah. What was the price for that 2-day camping one? You said
127.
127. All right. So we divide that by the 30 bands. That's like $4.23.
And a vibe
per band. That's just for the bands. That's just for the bands. You factor in you factor in that it's going to be like it's a campsite. It's multiple days. It's going to be thematic. Like that price for a gig is value if it was just a gig at a venue.
And it's also BYO, so you can bring as much booze as you want.
Fucking
yeah, you bring as much booze as you want.
I think I hope
cartons on each bloody arm, man.
I hope the bottle-os in Silverton and Broken Hill are going to be prepared because
I'm stuck. Oh man, we're gonna have to pack less gear for my beer.
I have a feeling. Right? Okay, let me tell you a little story from a while back. When I was in, I think it must have been sort of year 11 or 12. I was a big nerd. I thought I was going to go into like engineering and shit. So I did this like summer camp thing. That was focused around, it was based at University in New South Wales, and it was like a 2-week thing, and we went all across New South Wales out to like fucking this mine near Parks and went through like Bathurst and all these other things. We went through, our bus was going through the rural, like the back end of New South Wales, and we went through some small town that has a population of like 40 people, right? I think there was 50 of us on the bus. So we doubled the population of the town. And it was summer, so it was hot as fuck. And like we kind of got on there, and we went into the ice cream shop, and the lady that ran the ice cream shop heard the door go, came downstairs, and just kind of like stopped looking at like 50 people like lined up out the door of her shop, and she said something to the effect of, good thing I was upstairs ordering more ice cream. I feel like that's going to be the bottle-os when everyone rolls into town in Silverton for this fucking show, because we all know metalheads like to get on the piss. But if I can make a suggestion to those who are driving, don't wait till you get to Broken Hill or Silverton to buy.
Yeah, you're going to get
buy it beforehand and bring it with you if you can, because
if you're smart about it, you pack one less bag, throw one extra case, and you drink that bag away.
Yeah.
So anything that was valuable in that, you drink so hard that you forget about it, and then that bag doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly. But back to what I was kind of getting at with that, like, is there anyone on this lineup that you guys are particularly keen to see? Any bands that you want to like, that you maybe heard about, that you're excited to see in person or see live that you maybe haven't seen before?
When we played Treasures of Steel in, I think it was February, Hidden Intent were the ones.
We got to play with them.
Chris from Hidden Intent, he organised the whole Treasures of Steel festival because he's the manager of it. And
good lad.
They're really I'd say like an example of a band that kind of they started their like shows in a way that was like, oh, what are we doing? And they've like over the last 10 plus years they've built their own image, and they're
international.
They're international, and they're playing like really like awesome fucking thrash metal and just like stuff that people will be like, this is great. And they're just they have like, not only is the music good, because obviously like you said earlier, like being a musician is like that makes you understand it differently and see it from different aspects. Like musically it's great, but then they have that like image where they just, and the stage presence as well, all of the production, everything adds up, and they just it's always a good show. But and also just some of the other bands like that we haven't played with, like there's so many bands. I think Suffer the Avenue, we've heard of them a little bit, but I just want to see every band.
I live under a rock. I listen to like 90s death metal pretty much exclusively for the past like 2 years. So I'm keen to fucking just like see everything as it is and just absorb.
Good.
I think there's a band that I like. Look, I've seen them before, but I think you guys will probably really enjoy a band called Flaming Wreckage on the lineup. Yeah. They've been kicking around for a while.
Getting good with them boys.
They've been kicking around for a while and just unreal. Like so good. Their live performance, even back in the day, was really, really fucking good. Like it's only gotten better, and the material they're writing, like if you haven't checked out any of their stuff online, definitely do that. But I think live they're going to be one of the, I mean, they're pretty high up on the bill from what I can tell, so they're going to be one of the highlights of the weekend for sure.
Yeah, I think they're on day two. They're on day two.
Witchgrinder are also Witchgrinder are also an incredible show. Like they've been, again, a band that's been around for well over 10 years now. I played with Travis and the boys, with previous bands that I've been involved with, and just always a hell of a show. Like they always give it, it's more in sort of like the like goth rock / metal kind of vibe, but it's a perfect fit for the event. Like as a headliner, they're going to do an amazing job. I've seen, I know they've, at one point they were bringing their own pyro to shows.
Shit.
Which is like, so this would be a perfect opportunity for them to do that, I think, if it's an outdoor stage. So, but yeah, like honestly, I think this is like, that's one of the reasons I'm excited, because the bands on the lineup that I know are fucking killer.
Oh yeah.
So based on that,
even like Anton and Major as well.
Anton and Major are so good. Like
they've been going for ages.
Because every band that I know that's on the lineup is a fucking killer band. That puts me in the mindset of, okay, the ones I know are good, so I have to assume that the rest are going to be just as good.
That's what I'm looking forward to. There's so many bands on there that I don't know, that I'm really looking forward to checking out. Yeah,
and like that's part of like we're keen to meet all of these new bands, all the people we're going to be talking to, keep meeting you guys, seeing all these performances in person is going to be such an awesome experience for us, because for me, like, because I've been finding a lot of joy going to gigs again this year, just going to gigs without the mindset of, I have to network, I have to do X, Y, Z, I have to do blah, blah, blah. Just going to see bands that I enjoy and enjoying the gigs for what they are while I'm there, and that's kind of it, because I lost that for a while. Because when you're in a band and like you say, you go to gigs, you kind of have to network, you feel you have to do all of this stuff. But now that I'm like reaching I just don't give a fuck age, I'm just going and having fun again, which has been such a relief. And I'm hoping I can, while we will be extremely busy over the course of the weekend, I'm hoping that I can also take the time to enjoy the event. Just for
telling you, from my experience, the adrenaline will be going so hard, you won't have a choice but to have a good time. You're just going to have a mad time just talking to everyone. And
it'll be over before we know it.
It will be. And that's the worst part about it. And then you've got the whole after festival anxiety, the after festival blues, man. You get home and everything goes back to normal and you're sitting in your house and you're like, fuck, back to work.
So before we wrap up the podcast, there is a question that Kyle and I have decided that we're going to try and answer in the run up through this to this festival, right?
Might be a bit hard.
Yeah, well, it'll be a bit of a challenge, but we'll see. We'll have to see. Let me make sure I get my spreadsheet out so I can have all the answers up here. Now, as I'm sure you gentlemen are well aware, there is a collection of bands from the 80s known as the Big Four, right? Now, Kyle and I have had discussions on and off, and last week or the other week we decided that we're going to try and finally get an answer to this. So when the Big Four started doing their touring and going around, sort of that was about, 20-odd years, 20, 25 years after their main kind of, they kind of came about and, so we looked at it and we went, all right, what was kind of 20, 25 years ago from now? And that was nu metal. Now, being more of the death metal thrash kind of fans, I'm not sure if, how much interest y'all have in the nu metal thing.
A bit. I know a bit.
I grew up on nu metal.
All right, cool.
That was my introduction, yeah.
Sick. So the question that we are basically trying to answer or get people's opinions on is, who are the Big Four of nu metal?
Yes, I love the reaction from it. I love the reaction.
Linkin Park, Korn.
Limp Bizkit, man. Come on.
Is Deftones nu metal?
They don't consider themselves, but unfortunately, they fall into that genre.
Yeah.
They are often classified and lumped in with nu metal bands.
I'm a massive Deftones fan.
Paul and fucking Limp Bizkit. Have to say it. I'm sorry. I've gotten this so much.
Linkin Park.
So we need some.
Korn.
We'll need a consensus between the two of you for this.
Linkin Park, Korn, Deftones,
Limp Bizkit.
Deftones.
I want to say System of a Down, but I feel like maybe I don't know.
I'm forgetting someone. I
know Slipknot's nu metal.
Yes,
kind of. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because nu metal is like one of those.
The way you got to think of it is, it's like thrash. It was an era. Yeah. Nu metal is an era. Yeah. So Deftones, Slipknot, like we had one last week that said Machine Head.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything that was in that sort of era, we consider nu metal. So System of a Down is definitely valid.
Yeah. I'd probably put.
This is the last one's on you.
So I go Linkin Park, Korn,
Limp Bizkit,
and then I would probably say Slipknot.
Cool.
Slipknot. That works.
Okay.
Are you noticing two or three are roughly the same and one's always different? Just like if you ask that question,
it's
yeah. Because I always have this. Okay, we know who. We know who they umbrella under the Big Four. Who do you guys consider the Big Four of thrash?
Right, so Megadeth stays.
Yep.
Megadeth stays.
Yep.
Slayer stays. I'm not, even though I play an Explorer, I'm not a fan of Metallica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's different,
I feel like
even the early work.
The early work's all right, but Lars fucking sucks, man. He's got no footwork. I mean, he just...
Yeah.
Look, I think Metallica have to be there by default. Just in terms of like their... Look, I don't really listen to them a lot, but I think by default they have to be.
Yeah.
And maybe I would say for the fourth, I like Anthrax, but maybe I would probably say Testament.
See,
See,
I like
Testaments.
I have this theory. Yeah, this is my whole thing. If you go into any one of those conversations, you will get 3 out of those 4
that
and
everyone
one
agrees on.
Will always be different.
yeah.
And look, so bands like Testament's underrated. Like, I don't think they get the love they deserve.
They don't. Fucking oath, they don't.
Exodus as well, man. Like, Exodus just... Some of the stuff that Exodus and Testament put out is just unreal. Like, it's so good. It's such a such a great depiction of and distillation of what the genre was at the time, and sort of continues on to be. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the podcast for today. So, thank you very, very much to Matt and Jack for taking the time to speak with us today.
Guys.
Don't forget, you can get your tickets for Metal to the Max. Sorry, we'll have links in the description there.
At Oztix, and if you go to Oztix and you find Metal to the Max, you'll be able to go get your tickets there. Tickets start at $61 for a no camping pass, so you have to get yourself out there. Single day pass, and if you want to get to, I guess that'll be $120. If you want your best bet's to get the camping, $127. That's 2 days you camp there. No powered sites.
Yeah, but it's you're there. You don't have to travel to and from. If you want to crash, you can just go and lay down and crash. But before we go, where can people find you guys? We'll have all the links, but where can people find you guys on socials?
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, Instagram is denazen.adl and Facebook is just Denazen. And then obviously SoundCloud Denazen as well. And
Spotify soon.
Spotify soon. And it's DENAZEN.
Yes.
Spelling is the spelling on it. So go and check out Denazen for one. Check out the SoundCloud for now to prepare you for when the stuff comes out on Spotify. Go and get your tickets for Metal to the Max while they're still available. Word is they're moving pretty quick. And
one part of allocation's already been exhausted, so there's your bet.
So if you want to go, get them while you can. We, as I said, we'll have links to all of that cool stuff down the bottom. Thank you very, very much to you for watching or listening today. Thank you to Matt and Jack from Denazen. Thank you to my co-host, Kyle. I have been the Reverend Raff. And look after yourselves, everybody. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.
Yes.